Welcome back to the show. You're going to love this one. CEO of Uphold, Simon McLaughlin, says major corporations using Uphold node through on-demand liquidity. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.42 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's up 1.8%. 62,800 plus for Bitcoin, 2,900 plus for Ethereum, $110 billion market cap for Tether Plus. And we see XRP at the number 7 spot at 50 cents. We're up 0.3 on the 24, off by 4.2 on the 7-day. Range of price is between 49 and 51 cents, a pretty tight trading range. We'll keep an eye on it. I do want to remind everybody, it's linked to the best private equity in the world. You don't want to buy Ripple after the case ends. You want to buy it now. Yes, you have to be accredited, but you just sign up and register and you're good to go. It's just like that, ladies and gentlemen. It is the best private equity in the world, and I get super excited, and I know you can hear it in my voice because I just love private equity. I absolutely love private equity, no doubt about it. You will too, and you'd also be surprised at how quick and easy it is to get accredited on the platform and to prove that for them, and how quickly you can fund your account. These things take less than 5 to 10 minutes to do the entire process. Make no mistake, you try it. You prove me wrong. You will find out. This is one of the easiest things to do and unlock the ability to have one of the greatest areas of investment, which is private equity, no doubt about it. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Mark Cuban comes after this guy and says, the James Picard love guy says, other than speculation, avoiding taxes and engaging in criminal activity is the utility of crypto. Mark Cuban says, are you asking about cash or crypto? For crypto, lower cost of capital transfers, immediate collateralized loans, store of value, tokenization of assets, application and retention of royalties to digital assets like books, real time, low cost insurance market, cold storage. He goes on to label the rest of it. Then a guy comes underneath here and says, it's all about politics, not logic. Crypto is synonymous with greed, which Democrats in D.C. love to demagogue. Mark says this is a tech and understanding of the tech issue. Most politicians don't understand crypto at all. This isn't a conspiracy by the government. It's a failure by Gary Gensler. Well, Santiago Velez comes in and says, disagree. I think many politicians understand the implications of digital assets quite explicitly as a challenge to the dollar hegemony here and the monopolization of global banking payments. Vested interests feed them the narrative while making the donations. Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren are, in fact, spearheading for the banks, yellow light, while they figure out how to capitalize on it. Let's not underestimate what we're dealing with here. I agree completely, wholeheartedly with this. I really do. And I added to that, otherwise referred to as regulatory capture for the big banks. This is not, I repeat, this is not a misunderstanding, and we can prove it. Gary Gensler wasn't confused when he was teaching at MIT. And Gary Gensler wasn't confused when he looked beyond the dumpster fire known as FTX, the second largest Democrat donor. And Gary Gensler wasn't confused when he worked behind the scenes with Senator Warren to craft his testimony, to suit the narrative, to suppress the crypto market, helping big banks squash the competition, allowing them to buy the companies they want at pennies on the dollar. Despicable. That's what we've been watching, Mark. And we know that I covered in the first video this morning, the CEO of Tether says that Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple is uninformed, is what he says. Now, you want to see that definition, you can see that he goes on to say that USD Tether is a safe ecosystem and we do all the right things. You just don't know it, and Brad doesn't know it, but we all have heard all the things said about Tether over the more than a dozen years it's been in operation. Now, with that being said, let's just hear what they say in Congress about it. Thanks to 24 Hours Crypto for this.
I think you raise a great point about Tether.
This is a former securities official, Mr. John Reed Stark, speaking to Congress.
And you talk about it in the context of audits. You mentioned how important audits are when it comes to any sort of investment. And when you ask the question, would you ever invest in a company that was being audited by an auditor I'd never heard of, or wasn't, or was somehow not a great auditing firm? Of course I wouldn't. And that's exponentially true for Tether. Tether claims to have some sort of audit, but it's essentially a satellite snapshot of a days of its events. What is so hard about auditing Tether that they can't, and this is a critical part of every single crypto investment. And they've been saying for years, we're gonna get an audit, but they haven't. What would be so hard? Any of us on this panel could conduct that audit. You're just gonna look and see whether the tethers are actually backed by real U.S. Securities of some sort.
So I'm almost out of time, but I just want to flag myself and Mr. Sherman, Mr. Foster, Mr. Cleaver interested in build this.
There you have it right there, right? But the questions remain. Oh, the only one not confused is Paolo Ardoino, the CEO of Tether.
I think
that is not a solution make, okay? That is not the way things are done. And I can assure you it won't be the way this market moves forward, understanding that we have clarity. Getting clarity means that we are absolutely definitively going to know where Tether sits in this ecosystem. And where it's been is fine, but where it's going moving forward is what matters. And knowing that regulation is here, we have to find out how the regulators and Congress and the U.S. government truly feels about Tether selling the only product that the Federal Reserve has ever offered. Think of it for a moment. Think of that for a moment. I mean, it's just, think of it. I don't know how hard it goes, but I just, something has to happen. Where it is obviously not in a good place. I think we've heard enough from all sides to understand that. Cody Carbone reminds us here, as does Blockchain Tip Sheet, legislation arises, ladies and gentlemen. We know that there are, over the next 2 weeks, several blockchain bills moving in Congress this week. These next 2 weeks before the MDW recess are critical for legislating and politicking will take hold of the summer. A lot of these bills don't receive headlines but are bipartisan and will help build back U.S. leadership. And I hope Cody is absolutely right about that. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the panel sessions that we've had from XRP Las Vegas, they are on my channel. And Cody was on the legal panel with James Murphy, John Deaton, and Jeremy Hogan. And every one of them, Cody included, were fantastic, no doubt about it. And I appreciate the Digital Chamber and Cody and Perry Ann for taking part in XRP LV24. Meanwhile, Chinese workers paid in digital yuan rush to convert it into good old cash because of limited usability and privacy fears. Now, we have reported on this extensively, where we know that Chinese yuan is absolutely about control. And as I discussed in a fireside chat at XRP LV24, a couple weeks ago now, I talked with Cristian Carlo on stage about this exact thing. And he said, if China wants to build their digital yuan with, to control their people and oversight, I'm paraphrasing, let them. The difference is that the United States needs to really come out and speak to their own and make sure that the constitutional rights to privacy exist for everyone holding a digital dollar, just as it does for the paper dollar in our pocket today. So, seeing all of this, we just need to be in this innovation race so we can win. And then Cristian Carlo made the great point about the problem of the Chinese yuan being white labeled and adopted in other countries, allowing them more dominance and control over other nations and citizens, and not just their own. Meanwhile, BRICS coalition, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and about 40 other members who want to join currently right now. We learned today that India and the African nation Nigeria have agreed to use local currencies for bilateral trade and not the U.S. dollar. This is another step towards de-dollarization globally. It's a very, very real problem, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is something we've known for a long time. I don't believe this is new, but it may be. But shout out to Amalai for this. Payments Canada mentioned in their documents how cross-border payments are evolving both with Ripple and Stellar. And it points to both are mentioned in the category of stable coins for cross-border payments. Maybe they turn out to be global stable coins instead of a good old-fashioned stable coin, which has really been my focus out of all of this anyway, right? So RippleNet's native digital currency, Ripple XRP-24, and Stellar Network's native cryptocurrency, Stellar Lumens XLM. It says here, both Ripple and Stellar enable faster, more efficient cross-border payments relative to correspondent banking. However, they differ in that Ripple is focused on improving cross-border settlement between international banks, whereas Stellar is focused on providing low-cost cross-border payment financial services to the end user and the unbanked population. That's a nice way of breaking that down. And then I want to highlight this here from Chad Steingraber, give him a follow here. He points out Tranglo, which is a Ripple partner here, and he highlights here, this is the current process that is in actual use today by Ripple Payments Partner On-Demand Liquidity, ODL. Again, this is why the price of XRP is unaffected by utility as of today, but that will change when Ripple is not the only source. And as it shows right here, step 1, request from Tranglo to Ripple Payments. Step 2, draws down request amount from XRP ODL. Step 3, XRP is sent to Tranglo's exchange account. You can see the routing. As the network grows much larger, this will be hugely beneficial to everyone in the system. Smoke Dog here is another one you want to follow, points out PayPal and Zelle in the XRP ledger. We go through the documents here. You can see Zelle and PayPal being highlighted here in the transaction examples. And it goes on to see XRP ledger here. And this is remarkable. He says a video demonstration on how stablecoins can transact on the XRP ledger and even showcases interoperability with apps like PayPal and Zelle, as I've just shown you. And this does too. I'm going to spare you the minute 31 and shout out to Smoke Dog. Definitely give him a follow. He shows here again how Ripple and PayPal and interoperability between the XRP ledger and payment system like PayPal has always been the product vision. There's no question about it. And this just adds to the conversation of what was being shown in the video of the interoperability between PayPal and Zelle in the previous clip that we just showed. And here you see the example here, which has been the vision for years and years and years. This is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's mad because we're not there already, but the vision hasn't changed, and we're going there. But it will be legislation and regulation and legal clarity from the court case that make all of this happen. Now, I showed this over the weekend, too, the hundreds and hundreds of partners listed here on Paul Barron's channel for Ripple, and imagine what it'll be like.
After bank, after bank, after bank. I mean,
yeah.
There it is.
There it is. And it's just, we've showed this list before and other lists like it, you know, and you can see like when we get that regulatory clarity and legislative clarity, all those banks will be taking advantage of it. And what will it look like for all of us then? Well, I can't wait to find out. But let's find out exactly what is going on.
Now, there was news of Uphold partnering.
There is news of Uphold partnering with Ripple. And you know what? Let's hear Tony ask Simon McLaughlin, who we were luckily enough and fortunate enough to have on stage at XRP LV24. Shout out to you, Simon. And he explains that Uphold is, in fact, working with the banks, and they are a node in the on-demand liquidity. And they're working with major companies and corporations, and U.S. banks included, to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. And we would recognize these names if he were only allowed to say them.
Now, there was news of Uphold partnering with Ripple. Tell us about that partnership and how you guys are working together.
Sure. We're a node in the Ripple ODL network, which is their payments product. What it does is help multinational companies move large amounts of treasury from one region in the world to another using crypto as the transport layer. And so for big companies, moving money around is expensive, slow, complex, and the Ripple's ODL solution, takes away a lot of the hassle, makes it cheap and fast to move money cross-border. What we do is we service them in the US, UK, and European corridors. And so we convert XRP that's put into the client's account on Uphold. We instantly convert it into fiat, and then we handle payouts to banks in the UK, Europe, and US. So really, it's the crypto conversion and it's the payout to banks in those corridors that we look after.
Uphold ODL is now serving all three major markets of the world: the euro, the European market, the euro market, the UK market, and the US market. Holy moly!
And for us, it's been a fantastic peek behind the curtains, because you can see that tens of millions of dollars is being moved by well-known companies now using crypto as the transport layer. And for the things that Uphold stand for and believe in, above all, we believe in blockchain technology as a way of just making the world a better place by introducing efficiencies, reducing costs, allowing greater financial participation and inclusion. And the utility use case for us is incredibly important. And one of the best examples right now is Ripple and its payment network, which is helping big companies move money around the world. And we're one of the nodes in that network that allow them to convert crypto into fiat and then to pay out to banks in some of those corridors.
Wow. Now, Simon, I know you probably can't answer this question, but the audience is going to want me to ask anyway. Are there any names of institutions that you can name drop, or that's all under NDA?
I'm sorry, I can't. But what I can say is there's some very well-known names. So, this is not like a fringe activity. There's some major corporations moving money this way. And I think it's such a tremendously exciting time for the industry, because the adoption by enterprises is likely to accelerate, in my view, with three things. Number one, the emergence of clear rules in many parts of the world. Secondly, I think Ripple's introduction of the stable coin is going to massively increase adoption among banks and financial institutions, because banks employ people who understand fiat currency. They don't employ people who understand crypto. So I think the sales proposition to banks is going to be made way easier through the stable coin.
Listen, thank you for coming. Shout out to Tony for that great conversation right there, and shout out to Simon for revealing it. Let's connect the dots very quickly here with Dark Defender. Dot 1, the case Ripple came to an end. Dot 2, Honorable Judge Torres' decision is awaited. Dot 3, the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, said on the 10th of May, it's clear the U.S. government is going after Tether. Dot 4, meanwhile, XUSDC, USDX, or whatever you call, as a stablecoin that would be launched on Ripple is prepared, or launched on the XRP ledger, is prepared to run on the XRP ledger and Ethereum. Dot 5, some Bitcoin maxis started meddling with XRP, spreading fear as they did just before the 2017 XRP bull run. I recommend them to not meddle with the things they do not understand. Dot 6, the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, recently said that tokenization will be the next generation for markets. I'd like to add also into Dot 6, he was asked if there would be an XRP ETF, and he said he couldn't talk about it. That sounds a lot like a yes, because it's easy to say no. And then we add here, he says, I would like to add, blockchain will be used in everywhere. You are voting. We will use there too, blockchain there too. So it says, Dot 7, although the case is continuing for public sales of XRP, we have a solid decision that XRP is not a security, which gives XRP legal clarity in the U.S. Dot 8, XRP is in the grand wave 3. Dot 9, final dot. So if you can connect the dots above, you can see the rabbit diving into the Alice's Wonderland. No question about it. And here from Egrad Crypto says, you only live once, band. Okay, this is XRP to BTC chart here. And if you look at this, you could see in the previous post from May 1st, 2024, he mentioned being cautiously optimistic about XRP BTC chart unless we close above the 0.000010 back in 2017. He says there was a bounce from the YOLO band followed by a 45% dip, which was life-changing buying opportunity. He says, and now we're eagerly awaiting the 2017 fractal to unfold, but sometimes we must endure maximum pain before experiencing euphoria. A potential 45% decline at XRP to BTC chart suggests a bottom between the 0.0000555 and the 0.0000771. And a rebound back to the 771 would be less harsh, but we must recognize that flipping the major resistance at 0.000010 into support will be crucial. Valhalla awaits, and you can see where he's waiting for that fractal to play out with a pullback, and then us going to the moon, as they say. Eggrag Crypto shares another chart here that might be a little easier for you to follow. XRP is holding strong like a boss, says Eggrag Crypto. The launching channel features a partial wicking candles with the top end showing an ascending consolidation indicating bullish strength. I'll start worrying if we lose launching channel on the weekly time frame. Until then, we're gearing up for ignition stage. Closing above the confirmation could propel XRP to price a major target of Fibonacci 1.618 at $6.40. As you can see on this chart right here is the ignition stage. Got to get above that $1.30, $1.20 range, and then you can start really talking about some of these higher price targets that everybody is so excited about. That's going to do it for me. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I will catch all of you on the next one. Oh, and don't forget, if you want 30% off the Uphold Vault, all you have to do is come to digperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone, and come on in. You'll get the code inside. You'll see, and you'll get 30% off the vault. That's an unbelievable savings. I'll catch all of you on the next one.